We were on our way from our property up in Volcano, and we stopped on the way at our favorite antiques gallery. Saw this, couldn't quite make out the artist's name, but got a fix on it, and we had to rush off, so we went down to the museum, and we saw his name there. My husband and I, we looked at each other and we said, the painting, and called the antique shop there, and we got the painting. I think we paid about $400 for it.
About $400.
That was in the 70s.
This is a painting done in oil on canvas, created sometime in the late 1800s. What makes it remarkable is not just its age, but the story hidden behind every brushstroke. The landscape sitting in front of you is the big island of Hawaii. Those two majestic mountains are Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, the two great volcanoes that have shaped the island for thousands of years. And that small piece of land in the water is the famous Coconut Island. But this painting is not just about the scenery. It is about the man who painted it. His name was Joseph Nawahi, a native-born Hawaiian whose life was nothing short of extraordinary. He was born in 1842, in a time when Hawaii was still a proud and independent kingdom. From a very young age, Joseph showed a sharp mind and a fearless heart. He grew up watching his homeland, listening to the stories of his ancestors, and feeling deeply connected to the land, the sea, and the people of the islands. Joseph Nawahi was not primarily a painter. In fact, painting was perhaps the smallest part of who he was. He was a man of many talents. He was a lawyer, one of the few native Hawaiians of his time to walk into a courtroom and defend his people with the power of the law. He was a legislator who served his people for 20 long years, fighting for their rights and their future. He was an educator who believed in the power of knowledge. And he was a publisher, running a newspaper that bravely spoke out against the overthrow of the Hawaiian kingdom, using his words as a weapon when others were silenced by fear. Painting was his quiet rebellion, his way of preserving the beauty of a Hawaii that was slowly slipping away. As an artist, he was self-taught. He was a good artist, not a great one in the academic sense, but what he lacked in formal training, he made up for in soul. He was especially known for painting volcanoes, capturing the raw power and beauty of the island he called home. What makes his work so rare and so precious is that only 5 paintings by Joseph Nawahi are known to exist in the entire world. And this one is believed to be either the largest or one of the 2 largest ever discovered.
I think if this were to be up at auction today, I would probably put an estimate of $100,000 to $150,000 on it.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's a great thing.
My mother got it, I think, from her mother, or else she acquired it somewhere. But somewhere in my mind when I was a kid, I think it was my grandmother's.
This is a painting done in oil on canvas, created sometime in the late 1800s. What makes it truly special is not only how old it is, but the silent story it carries with every layer of paint. The colors are still rich, still soft, still glowing with the elegance of a forgotten time. The lace looks almost real, the flowers seem fresh, and the peacocks stand quietly as if they could move at any moment. Every detail in this painting has been crafted with patience, with passion, with a deep love for beauty. But this painting is not just about its beauty. It's about the brilliant artist whose hands brought this canvas to life. His name was Raimundo de Madrazo y Garreta. He was born in 1841 into a family of artists. His father was a celebrated painter, and from a very young age, Raimundo was surrounded by colors, brushes, and the timeless world of fine art. Painting was not just his profession, it was his blood, his heritage, his destiny. Although he was Spanish by birth, his journey took him far beyond his homeland. He lived and painted mostly in Paris and New York, 2 of the great art capitals of the world. His studio became a gathering place for the elite of high society. He was especially celebrated as a portrait artist, capturing the spirit and grace of the people of his time. But what set him apart was his incredible ability to paint fancy dresses, delicate lace, and beautiful fabrics. No one captured the softness of silk or the elegance of lace quite the way he did. His attention to detail was breathtaking, and his work became a window into the refined world of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Raimundo de Madrazo lived a long and successful life, painting until his final years, and passed away in 1920. Today, his paintings are highly sought after in the great auction rooms of the world.
If I would put this in an auction, I'd probably put it at $60,000 to $80,000. My colleagues have said that it might even be as much as $70,000 to $90,000. It's a beautiful painting. I'm glad you brought it in.
This is my mother's favorite painting of everything she ever had.
My aunt left it to me. She had had it since the early 70s, 71 or 72, I believe.
And what do you know about it?
Well, I know it's a painting of the Art Institute, and I can remember her having it for many years hanging in her living room.
Do you know where your aunt acquired this painting from?
No, she lived in Chicago most of her life. I don't have any idea, and I now wish I had asked her, but I don't know.
This painting is done in oil on canvas, created around the year 1910. What makes it remarkable is not just its age, but the story hidden behind every brushstroke. The colors are still soft, still alive, still filled with the energy of a city that never sleeps. And the scene sitting in front of you is one of the most iconic landmarks in all of America. This is the Art Institute of Chicago. Those two majestic bronze lions guarding the entrance, the grand stone steps leading down to Michigan Avenue, the bustling life of the city beyond. Every detail painted with care, with feeling, with love for the heart of Chicago. And what makes this painting even more powerful are the American flags waving proudly throughout the scene, filling the canvas with a deep sense of national pride. But this painting is not just about the city. It is about the man who painted it. His name was William. He was born in Indiana in the year 1859, in a time when American art was just beginning to find its true voice. From a young age, William showed a deep love for painting. He studied at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, the very same institute he later immortalized in this beautiful canvas. He also traveled far across the ocean to Germany, where he sharpened his skills, learned new techniques, and absorbed the rich European traditions of fine art. William, not just a city painter, he was known as a Huser painter. He exhibited his work extensively at the Art Institute of Chicago. Throughout his career, he created just under 160 known works, each one carrying his unique vision, his soul, and his love for the world around him. Most of his paintings were quiet landscapes, peaceful scenes of nature, soft fields, and gentle skies. But this painting is different. This one captures the heartbeat of a city, the energy of a nation, the pride of a people. It is rare. It is powerful. It is a masterpiece of its time.
If this were to come up in an auction, the estimate would be between $30,000 and $50,000.
That's nice.
We think this could probably set a record for the artist if it were to come up at auction. And for insurance, it would probably be in the $75,000 to $80,000 range.
This was a painting that my grandmother had. I inherited it in 1992. I have a lot of siblings, so we sort of had to divide up the paintings.
This is a painting done in oil on canvas, created sometime in the late 1950s or early 1960s. What makes this painting so striking is the bold imagination behind it, the kind of visions that turn an ordinary canvas into a window to another world. The colors are bold, the figures are dreamlike, and the whole scene feels almost like a memory from another world. At the center, a graceful lady rides a zebra, surrounded by the rich, magical atmosphere of a faraway land. Every detail in this painting has been crafted with imagination, with passion, with the spirit of an artist who saw beauty everywhere he traveled. And the place that inspired this painting is the beautiful island of Haiti. You can see it in the soft tropical light, in the dreamy fantasy of the scene, and in the small but telling details, like the delicate filigree roofing on the buildings, a style that is truly typical of Haitian homes. Even the canvas itself was purchased in Haiti, marked with a French stamp on the back. But this painting is not just about its beauty. It is about the brilliant artist whose hands brought this canvas to life. His name was Orville Bowman, and his story is as fascinating as his art. He was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, into a wealthy and well-known family. Orville worked in the family business, but his true love was always painting. He was mostly self-taught, though he did study briefly at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago and at Oxbow in Saugatuck, Michigan, traveling through the South, painting beautiful scenes of African American life. But it was his trip to Haiti in 1952 that truly changed him. The colors, the culture, the energy of the island filled his soul, and he returned many times to capture its magic on canvas. Because of his wealth and connections, Orville Bowman became a true celebrity artist of his time. His paintings were collected by some of the most famous names in history, including the Duchess of Windsor, President Gerald Ford, President John F. Kennedy, and Marjorie Merriweather Post.
The retail value might be $20,000 to $25,000, and once conserved, you might be able to ask as much as $35,000.
Oh, wow.
Belonged to my family, my mom and dad. I'm sorry I don't know when they purchased it, and I don't know what they paid for it. I've always enjoyed it. It's been hanging in my living room in a dark corner for the last 10 or 12 years.
This is a painting done in oil on canvas, created in the early 20th century by a master of light, color, and the quiet beauty of nature. What makes this painting so beautiful is the gentle stillness it carries, the kind of quiet that only a true lover of nature could capture on canvas. The colors are soft yet powerful, the brushstrokes are gentle yet confident, and the whole scene feels alive with the calm rhythm of the countryside. The sky stretches endlessly. Matthias Alten was born in 1871 in Gunzweiler, Germany, and his journey into the world of art began at a very young age. As a young man, he started his career as a humble apprentice to a painter, learning the basics of color, technique, and patience. When his family later moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, he worked painting signs and decorating furniture, slowly building his skills and chasing his dream. In his late 20s, his passion for art took him across the ocean, where he studied in France and Italy, absorbing the rich traditions of European painting. When he returned, the world of art was changing fast. Abstract art was rising in America around 1913, but Matthias Alten chose a different path. He stayed true to his heart and became a proud second-generation impressionist, dedicating his life to capturing the soft beauty of the natural world. Although he painted still lifes and portraits with great skill, his true love was always landscapes. He found his deepest inspiration in nature, often filling his scenes with peaceful rustic figures and gentle animals.
I think if this were offered in a retail gallery, the asking price might be between $20,000 and $25,000.
Oh my goodness, I'm speechless. If I liked those cows before, I love them now.
So, John, you've been looking at this painting for a long time, you said.
All my life, yes, sir.
Yeah, where was it hanging?
It was hanging in my mom's living room. She got it from her aunt, and it was given to her aunt from Robert Wood. He was one of her tenants. The story I understand is that he couldn't make rent, and so he offered a painting as payment for that.
This is a painting done in oil on canvas, created sometime in the early 1900s. What makes it so beautiful is the calm, golden feeling of a Texas spring quietly blooming across the canvas. The colors are soft and inviting, the brushstrokes are smooth and confident, and the whole scene seems to breathe with the warmth of the Texas countryside. A wide field of bluebonnets stretches across the canvas, glowing softly under the sky, blooming like a sea of color that has come to life. For anyone who has ever stood in a Texas field in spring, this painting feels like home. But this painting is not just about its beauty. It's about the brilliant artist whose hands brought this canvas to life. His name was Robert William Wood. one of the most beloved landscape painters in American history. He was born in 1889 and lived an extraordinary life of nearly 90 years, passing away in 1979. He was an artist who never stayed in one place for long. He lived in Texas, California, Colorado, and even Woodstock, New York. From 1923 to about 1941, he made his home in San Antonio, Texas, and it was here that he created some of his most loved works. Robert Wood painted many beautiful scenes throughout his life, from the mighty Tetons to the Colorado Rockies, from the calm coasts of California to the wide open landscapes of Texas. But it was the blue bonnets, the proud state flower of Texas, that truly made him a legend. Texans loved his bluebonnet paintings, and even today, his name brings warmth and pride to anyone who calls Texas home. He was a fast, gifted, and prolific artist, painting the beauty of America one landscape at a time.
If this were to come up, I would have to put an auction estimate on this of $15,000 to $25,000 and probably expect to get more than that at auction.
Oh, wow.